Did you know? Nearly 632,000 immigrants were living in Ireland during the most recent census, in 2022, accounting for 12% of the population. In the year leading up to the census, over 89,500 people moved to Ireland, including almost 10,000 from India and over 5,000 from Brazil. But despite this country having so many immigrants, there are no riots like other European countries. Although currently anti-immigrants riots are also taking place in Ireland, but these are in very less numbers. But there are no violent protests by blocking roads in Ireland like in London. But now the rest of the world needs to learn from the way Ireland is solving the immigration crisis. Ireland's approach to managing immigration challenges has been relatively successful compared to other countries, especially within the context of the European migration crisis and increased migration in recent years. Although Ireland has faced pressures, several key strategies and policies have helped the country better manage the situation. So in today's video, we are going to show you 10 reasons how Ireland solved its immigrants crisis. But before starting the video, I want to request you, we put our best efforts to create our every single video. So please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's start. Number 10, EU membership and coordination. Ireland's membership in the European Union has been crucial in shaping its immigration policy, particularly through the principle of free movement. The right of EU citizens to live and work in any member state has allowed Ireland to attract workers from across the EU, without the bureaucratic hurdles of visa applications or work permits. This flexibility in labor mobility has been critical, particularly during Ireland's periods of economic growth when the country faced acute labor shortages in sectors like construction, healthcare, and services. The Celtic Tiger era was a defining moment in Ireland's economic history, where high growth rates attracted workers from across Europe, especially after the 2004 enlargement of the EU, which brought in countries like Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia. Ireland was one of the few older EU members that did not impose transitional restrictions on workers from these new member states, thereby welcoming thousands of Eastern European immigrants. The integration of these EU workers into the Irish economy was relatively smooth, as these immigrants had the legal right to move freely and access work. Ireland did not face the same intense social friction over immigration as some other European countries, where non-EU immigration is often the cause of political debate. Ireland's policy of openness within the EU framework reduced pressure on immigration authorities and allowed for a more balanced, stable approach to migration management. Moreover, EU membership also means Ireland benefits from coordinated EU efforts on broader immigration issues, including asylum policies, refugee resettlement, and external border controls. Ireland collaborates with EU institutions on handling asylum claims, ensuring that its immigration policies remain consistent with European standards. This collaborative approach means Ireland is not acting alone, but as part of a wider European strategy to manage immigration effectively. Number 9, economic growth as a driver of immigration. Ireland's economic boom in the late 20th and early 21st centuries fundamentally changed the country's demographic makeup. Known as the Celtic Tiger, this period saw rapid economic expansion, with annual growth rates of up to 9%, driven by sectors like technology, pharmaceuticals, and financial services. As Ireland's economy grew, so did the demand for labor, particularly in industries that were critical to sustaining the boom, such as construction, hospitality, healthcare, and manufacturing. Immigration became an essential tool for filling these labor shortages. Ireland's open stance toward immigration was not just a humanitarian choice, but also an economic necessity. Immigrants from the EU and beyond helped to build Ireland's infrastructure, staff its hospitals, and provide services that kept the economy running. For instance, many Polish workers found employment in construction, helping to drive Ireland's housing boom, while immigrants from non-EU countries filled roles in healthcare, working as nurses, doctors, and support staff. Ireland's economic growth also fostered a sense of opportunity, which helped reduce any negative perceptions of immigration. As long as jobs were plentiful and the economy was expanding, public attitudes toward immigrants remained largely positive. This contrasts sharply with other European countries, where economic stagnation or recession has often led to anti-immigrant sentiment and political backlash. By tying immigration to economic needs, Ireland managed to integrate immigrants into society more effectively and avoid the tensions that can arise when jobs are scarce. Number 8. EU financial support for immigration management. Ireland's success in handling immigration has been bolstered by financial support from the European Union, particularly through the Asylum, Migration, and Integration Fund. The EU established AMIF to help member states manage migration effectively, supporting projects that improve asylum systems, promote the integration of immigrants, and strengthen border controls. Ireland has been a significant beneficiary of this fund, receiving substantial financial assistance to develop policies and programs that ensure immigration is managed in a way that benefits both the economy and society. One of the key uses of AMIF funds in Ireland has been to support integration programs for immigrants. These programs help newcomers learn the language, access education, find employment, and integrate into Irish society. For instance, the government has implemented community-based initiatives that provide language training for non-English speakers, helping immigrants to overcome one of the most significant barriers to integration. This is particularly important for non-EU immigrants, who may not arrive with the same level of English proficiency as those from English-speaking EU countries. Moreover, AMIF funding has allowed Ireland to invest in support services for asylum seekers and refugees. The fund has helped Ireland improve its asylum processing systems, reducing the time it takes to process applications and ensuring that asylum seekers are treated fairly. The fund has also supported the creation of reception centers that provide housing, healthcare, and legal assistance to asylum seekers, ensuring that they have access to basic services while their claims are being processed. AMIF has also played a role in strengthening Ireland's border management systems. While Ireland is not part of the Schengen area, it still collaborates closely with the EU on external border control policies. AMIF funds have been used to improve Ireland's ability to monitor and manage its borders, ensuring that immigration is both legal and orderly. This financial assistance from the EU has been crucial in ensuring that Ireland's immigration system remains efficient and effective. Number 7. Refugee resettlement through EU collaboration. In addition to labor migration, Ireland has also managed refugee flows, particularly in response to humanitarian crises. A significant part of this success stems from its participation in EU-led refugee resettlement programs. When the European refugee crisis intensified in 2015, particularly due to the conflict in Syria, the EU devised a plan to distribute asylum seekers more equitably across member states. Ireland took part in these resettlement schemes, accepting refugees as part of its contribution to the broader European effort to handle the crisis. Ireland's participation in these schemes reflects its commitment to international humanitarian obligations. The government established the Irish Refugee Protection Program to manage the intake of refugees, focusing on providing housing, education, healthcare, and language support. The IRPP was designed to ensure that refugees could integrate into Irish society as quickly and smoothly as possible, minimizing social tensions and maximizing the benefits of immigration. The EU's relocation mechanism, of which Ireland has been a part, aims to reduce the burden on frontline states like Greece and Italy, which receive the majority of refugees arriving in the EU by sea. By sharing the responsibility of hosting refugees, Ireland has helped create a more balanced and equitable approach to managing the refugee crisis. Ireland's willingness to participate in these schemes has earned it a reputation as a country that upholds solidarity and cooperation within the EU, particularly on migration issues. This collaboration with the EU has allowed Ireland to handle refugee flows in a more structured and organized manner. Rather than dealing with sudden, large influxes of refugees, Ireland has been able to plan its intake based on EU quotas, ensuring that its infrastructure and support systems are not overwhelmed. This has helped to avoid the kind of refugee crises seen in other parts of Europe, where sudden surges in asylum applications have led to overcrowded camps, strained public services, and rising tensions between locals and newcomers. Number 6. Integration policies for immigrants. Ireland's approach to immigration goes beyond simply allowing people to enter the country. It also focuses heavily on ensuring that immigrants are able to integrate into society. Integration policies are key to avoiding the long-term social and economic problems that can arise when immigrants are marginalized or isolated from the broader community. Ireland's integration efforts have been supported both by government initiatives and EU funding, ensuring that immigrants have access to the resources they need to thrive. One of the most important aspects of Ireland's integration policy is the provision of language training. For many immigrants, particularly those from non-English-speaking countries, language is a significant barrier to integration. Without proficiency in English, it is difficult for immigrants to access jobs, education, or social services, and they may find themselves isolated from Irish society. The government, often with support from EU funds, offers free English language classes to immigrants, ensuring that they have the skills they need to communicate effectively and participate in the workforce. In addition to language training, Ireland has implemented a range of educational programs designed to help immigrants, including refugees and asylum seekers, access further education and vocational training. This is particularly important for younger immigrants, who need to be integrated into the school system as quickly as possible to avoid falling behind their peers. If you have seen the video here, it means that you have liked this video. Then you must press the like button and also subscribe to the channel so that you can get our upcoming videos first. I want to say one more thing. The number of immigrants in Europe is increasing rapidly, due to which there are anti-immigrants protests. On top of this topic, we are thinking of making a dedicated video. If you want, then tell us in the comments. We'll try to bring video on this topic soon. Let's continue. Number 5. Non-Schengen participation with coordinated border control. Ireland's unique position as a member of the European Union but outside of the Schengen area has allowed it to maintain a degree of control over its borders while still benefiting from close cooperation with other EU member states. The Schengen area enables passport-free travel between its members, but Ireland opted out, along with the UK, when the Schengen Agreement was introduced. However, this decision has not isolated Ireland from the EU's wider migration policies or border control cooperation. Instead of Schengen membership, Ireland participates in the Common Travel Area or CTA with the United Kingdom, which allows for free movement between the two countries. The CTA ensures that there are no passport checks for people traveling between Ireland and the UK, an arrangement that predates both countries' entry into the EU. Despite Brexit, the CTA has remained intact, ensuring continuity in travel and migration between Ireland and the UK. This framework has allowed Ireland to control non-EU immigration more effectively, without fully relinquishing the benefits of EU cooperation on immigration policy. Although Ireland does not participate in Schengen, it collaborates closely with Schengen countries on external border management. Ireland works with the European Border and Coast Guard Agency to monitor and secure the EU's external borders. This cooperation ensures that Ireland can benefit from EU intelligence sharing, border security, and joint operations to combat human trafficking and illegal immigration, even though it controls its own borders. By striking this balance, Ireland has managed to retain sovereignty over its borders while participating in broader EU migration policies. This arrangement allows Ireland to maintain flexibility in immigration control, particularly concerning non-EU nationals, while still being part of a collective European effort to secure borders and manage migration flows. The combination of the CTA and EU cooperation has enabled Ireland to avoid the kind of immigration crises experienced by countries with less coordinated border management systems. Number 4. Labor and skill-based immigration programs. Ireland's ability to attract immigrants has not been random, but has largely been targeted towards specific sectors of the economy that are experiencing labor shortages. To this end, the government has designed labor and skill-based immigration programs that focus on bringing in workers with the skills that are most needed in the Irish economy. This strategy has ensured that immigration is not seen as a burden but rather as a necessary and beneficial element of economic growth. One of the most important tools in Ireland's immigration strategy is the employment permit system. This system allows non-EU nationals to work in Ireland if they possess skills that are in high demand. The Irish government regularly updates its list of occupations that qualify for employment permits, ensuring that immigration policy is responsive to the changing needs of the labor market. For example, during the boom years of the Celtic Tiger, there was a significant demand for construction workers, leading to a large number of permits being issued in this sector. More recently, Ireland has focused on attracting healthcare professionals, information technology experts, and engineers to meet the needs of a growing knowledge economy. The Critical Skills Employment Permit is a particularly important part of the system, designed to attract highly skilled workers in sectors like IT, engineering, healthcare, and financial services. This permit is aimed at filling key gaps in the labor market, ensuring that Ireland remains competitive in attracting global talent. Workers with critical skills are seen as essential to maintaining Ireland's economic competitiveness, particularly as the country positions itself as a hub for multinational corporations and high-tech industries. In addition to the Critical Skills Program, Ireland has also issued general employment permits for non-EU workers in sectors experiencing labor shortages. This more general program has allowed Ireland to bring in workers for lower-skilled jobs that are nonetheless essential to the economy, such as those in hospitality, agriculture, and retail. By aligning its immigration policies with the demands of the labor market, Ireland has avoided many of the social tensions that arise when immigrants are perceived as competing with locals for jobs. Instead, immigrants are seen as filling necessary roles in the economy, helping businesses to expand and providing services that benefit the wider population. This targeted approach has been a key reason why Ireland's immigration policy has been viewed positively, both by employers and the public. Number 3. Asylum and humanitarian protection policies. While much of Ireland's immigration strategy has focused on labor migration, the country has also maintained a commitment to asylum seekers and refugees, in line with its international humanitarian obligations. Ireland's asylum and refugee policies are aligned with EU directives and international conventions, ensuring that people fleeing persecution and violence have access to protection in Ireland. Ireland is part of the Common European Asylum System, which establishes shared standards for processing asylum claims across the EU. This includes ensuring that asylum seekers are treated fairly, have access to legal representation, and are housed in appropriate facilities while their claims are processed. Ireland's asylum system has evolved significantly over the years, with efforts to streamline the process and reduce waiting times for asylum seekers. In the past, asylum seekers in Ireland often faced long delays in having their claims processed, leading to frustration and social tension. However, recent reforms have aimed to address these issues, speeding up decision-making and improving the quality of support services. A key aspect of Ireland's asylum policy is its participation in EU resettlement and relocation programs. These programs are designed to share the responsibility of hosting refugees across EU member states, ensuring that countries like Greece and Italy, which receive the majority of refugees, are not overwhelmed. Ireland has taken in refugees from conflict zones like Syria under these programs, providing housing, education, and healthcare to help them integrate into society. The Irish government's approach has been to ensure that refugees are not only granted protection but are also given the tools to rebuild their lives in Ireland. Ireland's reception system for asylum seekers has also seen significant improvements, with the introduction of reception centers that provide accommodation and essential services while asylum claims are processed. This system, while not without its challenges, has allowed Ireland to manage the intake of asylum seekers in a more organized and humane manner. Additionally, Ireland's collaboration with EU agencies such as the European Asylum Support Office ensures that the country's asylum procedures are in line with European standards and best practices. The combination of EU cooperation, national reforms, and a commitment to humanitarian principles has enabled Ireland to manage asylum and refugee flows without experiencing the kind of public backlash seen in other European countries. By ensuring that asylum seekers and refugees are treated fairly and supported in their integration, Ireland has avoided the social tensions that often arise when immigration is perceived as uncontrolled or chaotic. Number 2. Political stability through immigration management. One of the most remarkable aspects of Ireland's immigration policy is the political stability it has maintained throughout various phases of immigration. In many European countries, immigration has been a highly divisive issue, fueling the rise of populist, anti-immigrant parties. However, in Ireland, immigration has not led to the same level of political polarization. This is due in large part to the effective management of immigration flows and the clear economic rationale for bringing in immigrants to fill labor shortages. Ireland's political consensus on immigration is built on the recognition that immigration has been a net positive for the country's economy. By focusing on bringing in immigrants who fill specific labor market needs, Ireland has avoided the perception that immigrants are taking jobs from locals or overburdening public services. This pragmatic approach has helped to keep the issue of immigration from becoming a major point of contention in Irish politics. Moreover, Ireland's participation in EU immigration policies has helped to shield it from some of the more extreme political pressures seen in other countries. By working within the framework of EU asylum and immigration policies, Ireland has been able to share responsibility for managing refugee flows and has benefited from EU funding and support. This has allowed Ireland to avoid the kind of immigration crises that have led to political upheaval in countries like Italy, Hungary, and Poland. Another key factor in Ireland's political stability on immigration is the positive public perception of immigrants. Because immigrants are seen as contributing to the economy, particularly during periods of labor shortages, there has been relatively little opposition to immigration from the general public. In contrast to other countries where immigrants are often blamed for economic and social problems, in Ireland, immigrants are largely viewed as an integral part of the country's success. By maintaining political stability around the issue of immigration, Ireland has been able to continue attracting immigrants to support its economy while avoiding the divisive, populist rhetoric that has taken hold in other parts of Europe. This stability has been a crucial factor in Ireland's ability to manage immigration effectively. Number 1. Public support for immigration. Perhaps the most important factor in Ireland's success in managing immigration is the relatively high level of public support for immigrants. In contrast to many European countries where immigration has become a deeply polarizing issue, public opinion in Ireland has remained broadly positive. This is due in part to the fact that immigration has been closely linked to economic growth, with immigrants seen as contributing to Ireland's prosperity rather than competing for scarce resources. Ireland's public support for immigration is also a reflection of its history of emigration. For much of the 19th and 20th centuries, Ireland was a country of emigration, with millions of Irish people leaving for the United States, the UK, and other parts of the world in search of better opportunities. This history has created a certain level of empathy for immigrants, as many Irish people can relate to the experience of leaving one's home country to seek a better life elsewhere. Additionally, the Irish government has made a concerted effort to highlight the positive contributions of immigrants to Irish society. Public awareness campaigns, along with media coverage that focuses on the success stories of immigrants who have integrated into Irish society, have helped to foster a more welcoming attitude toward newcomers. The government has also been careful to ensure that immigration is seen as orderly and well-managed, which has helped to prevent the kind of backlash seen in other countries where immigration is perceived as being out of control. Finally, Ireland's proactive integration policies, including language training, education, and employment programs, have helped to ensure that immigrants are able to contribute to society and become part of the broader community. This has helped to prevent the kind of social tensions that can arise when immigrants are marginalized or isolated. By focusing on integration, Ireland has been able to build public support for immigration as a positive force in society. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.